Joined now by two guests, Congresswoman Lauren Underwood, who represents a large area west of Chicago, and our political analyst Pat Brady as well.
All right, Lauren, we want to start with you because day one of the DNC, you were one of the first speakers to get up there.
Yes, ma'am.
So, and you focused on, considering your background as a registered nurse, you focused on healthcare, you focused on federal aid for the COVID pandemic. What was the strategy behind your message?
Well, we know that a lot of Americans have had a sort of a trauma response to the pandemic, and they blocked it out. And we needed to make sure that people understood that in a time of great need in our country, Donald Trump failed us. He said to inject bleach. He said the pandemic is what it is. And so I wanted to make sure that as we were talking about the healthcare advancements, that it was Joe Biden and Kamala Harris that stepped in to save our country.
Pat, let's bring you in and ask you about one of the other speakers tonight, Adam Kinzinger. I know you're good friends with him. What has happened to him? How has he been banished from the Republican Party when he voted with Trump almost, I think, more than some of the members of the Freedom Caucus? Yet he did not line up behind Donald Trump.
Yeah, it's interesting. Back in, when I was a kid, courageous actions used to be rewarded in political parties, particularly the Republican Party, and he's been ostracized because he did the right thing. I mean, what Donald Trump did is tried to overthrow our system of government, and all Adam did was be a part of the investigative team. And for that, and speaking out against what Trump did, he's been kicked out of the party. So I'm glad to see him here tonight. He's a good friend. He's had death threats. His life has been disrupted. He doesn't even live in Illinois anymore. But listen, history is going to judge Adam Kinzinger a lot better than he's going to judge some of the other Republicans that didn't do what he did.
Lauren, I saw you nodding over there, but as someone who works, of course, with both sides of the aisle, and we're talking about people trying to reach out to independents, undecided voters, but also a lot of the videos were from people who are Republicans that are now deciding to vote for Harris. Talk to us about that.
Well, what we see is in this election, people know that they have a choice. And Kamala Harris is not one who's motivated by the politics of fear and division, hatred, extremism, the way that it's really been characterized within today's Republican Party led by MAGA extremists like Donald Trump. And so in this video montages, I think that we see a handout to our neighbors to say, would you like to join us? Here's our vision for a future that really allows everyone to see and recognize their own American dream.
We just give you 10 seconds each. Pat, what are you looking forward to?
Elections are about contrasts, and tonight the mission of the speech should be to make that contract that you just talked about. What's going to be different if she's president versus if Trump's president?
What are you looking forward to, Congresswoman?
Well, people getting to know the Kamala Harris that I know, who is warm, smart, kind, generous, funny, and ready to lead this country.
Thanks for your time.
Yes,
thank you.
Thanks for coming by.